politics, especially foreign policy, has a cause and effect. U.S. troops removed from the border between Turkey and Syria. Turkish President Erdogan starts making military moves into northeastern Syria. Cause and effect. That's why it's important to plan ahead to big drastic foreign policy maneuvers so we don't get headlines like this one. Erdogan holding 50 U.S. tactical nukes hostage as Trump authorizes sanctions. 50 tactical nukes, you say? Yes, I do. As The Guardian reports, an estimated 50 nuclear bombs stored at a U.S. airbase in Turkey have become potential bargaining chips in the tense relationship between Washington and Ankara in the wake of the Turkish offensive into Syria. Now, the Pentagon and the State Department are scrambling to figure out what to do with these Cold War-era B-61 nuclear gravity bombs that we've been storing at our Incirlik airbase. At the U.S. airbase that is located just a cozy 100 miles from the Syrian border. Yeah. The New York Times quotes one senior official with the U.S. government on the dilemma, and he observed, "To fly them out of Incirlik would be to mark the de facto end of the Turkish-American alliance. To keep them there, though, is to perpetuate a nuclear vulnerability that should have been eliminated years ago." Well, my friends, it looks like from cause and effect to should we stay or should we go? Well, I know that right now, it's time to start watching the Hawks.
If you want to know what's going on in your city and your streets, never back down like Tyrell, and the truth is what you seek. To analyze, investigate from the bottom to the top. You speak your mind like Sean Stone, whether they like it or not. I got Tabitha, Miss Wallace, with the wisdom and the pearl. Between the outrage and the evidence, what's going on in this world? Watching the Hawks, watching the Hawks, watching the Hawks. Listen when they talk.
Welcome everyone to Watching the Hawks. I am Tyrell Ventura.
And I'm Tabitha Wallace. Bombs, bombs everywhere. We just forgot that we had, you know, a whole bunch of nukes sitting in Turkey right before we decided to leave unexpectedly.
Yeah, it's bad when you suddenly start, you know, causing tensions between those NATO nations that you've dumped a bunch of Cold War-era nuclear hardware in. That cause.
Yeah, and I'm sure Turkey's not the only member of NATO that we have nukes dumped. Old, out-of-date nukes on top of it.
Yes. Let me tell you a little, educate our audience about the
nukes.
B-61s, our favorite vitamin of nuclear weapon. It is a low to intermediate yield strategic and tactical thermonuclear gravity bomb featuring 2 stages of radiation implosion design. Yes, it is.
Great. It's an oldie, but
yes.
Deadly.
F-15s, F-16s can carry them onto the battlefield and then drop them as low as 50 feet because the weapon has a timer on it that allows you like 31 seconds to get away. Thankfully, Turkey has no planes certified to carry the nuclear weapons. They're you know, safely under our control. But Turkey's diplomats have apparently indicated that if we were to remove the weapons, they would be forced to develop their own. Because right now they're kind of Turkey's only, I don't know, nuclear deterrent. Even though we own them, we use them, Turkey can't operate them. Yeah.
I love that they're like, certified to carry these warplanes. Certified by who? And who's gonna like write them a ticket?
Right.
I think it's a little weird. I mean, I'm just saying, like, this idea that, well, you know, they don't have planes for them.
Yes.
Because we don't know anybody in the whole world that's allies with Turkey that could possibly give them planes they could drop these things. I mean, I think what's probably the biggest problem with them is that they're so old that I don't think I think you probably have some duds in there. What's interesting is that Newsweek actually reported in midst of all this, and Newsweek reported that U.S. Special Forces stationed in the northern Syrian town of Kobani came under Turkish artillery fire last Friday. So we're already getting friendly fire from an ally.
Wow.
That's not super great. In response to the report, Jeffrey Lewis of the James Martin Center for Non-Proliferation Studies wrote, "I think this is a first. A country with U.S. nuclear weapons stationed in it literally firing artillery at U.S. forces." And this is the problem, that there is, you know, everybody talks about a red line and this and who did it and who did or didn't say what, but you can't sit there and have, you know, multiple ally ships that overcross each other, and you can't just do things out of the blue. You can't just say, everybody come home, everybody do this, we're out. This isn't a business. It's not a hotel. It's not a casino.
You know,
it's not a business.
I mean, I'm
People's
all for.
lives.
I mean, Tab, you got it. I'm all for closing U.S. military bases around the world. All
Heck
for
yeah.
pulling troops out. And this, I'm happy that we're pulling troops out of Syria. This is a good thing for the U.S. to be doing, and I'm pains me to say it, but you know, Trump did kind of a decent point. Yes, get these people out. You should have done it years ago. But you still have to plan, like you're saying. There's still a process involved in saying, okay, if I move these people from here, we got to make sure that these weapons over here are secure. We got to make sure that this happens, this happens, this happens.
Yeah. What's interesting, though, is that you can be all secure as you want, but if the information they have that people are getting, which is one of the bigger problems for the last, I would say, all the way back into World War II, you can literally cite examples where the war was not explained very well to the people back home.